Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in for another episode. I'm sitting out here just starting to get ready. We're going to do a little fishing with the boys. A little chilly still here in Wisconsin. We've had a very slow spring, but it doesn't mean I'm not getting ready to get out and do some bass fishing. They're going to start really heating up here. We've got a little bit of a warm front coming through in the next couple of days, and that will be enough to get the fish active to the point where I can start thinking about throwing some topwater baits. And that's what I want to talk about today, is this unknown topwater hybrid popper slash frog that was a new bait that came out last year and I think is completely gone under the radar. So I want to talk about it and tell you why I think it's a pretty good bait that you probably need to pick up. But before I do get into that, I do want to remind you guys that if you want to support the channel, a great way to do that is to use the Tackle Warehouse affiliate link that I provide in the description of each of my videos. I've got links to most of the baits too when I talk about them in videos, but a little bit of that will be kicked back to the channel, and it's a good way to show me that you're enjoying the videos that I'm putting forward and you appreciate some of the tips that I'm giving out. So if you want to help support the channel, please use the Tackle Warehouse link. Also, guys, what I want to point out is tonight is the first live stream that we're going to have. It starts at 7:30 tonight. We're going to have a couple of giveaways. Should be a pretty entertaining time. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to talk about a couple of different topics and then at the same time, hopefully answer all of the member questions that are out there. So if you want to partake in that, you got to become a member of the channel. And there's a couple of different ways you can do that. On the home page of the desktop YouTube page, you can hit the join button of my personal YouTube homepage, or if you're using a mobile device and you're using the YouTube app, you got to go to my homepage and then click on the membership tab. All the information you need is there. But if you want to partake in tonight's live stream, you got to become a member. Okay, guys. So this bait is something that came out last year. It's a new Berkley bait called the Power Pop. And it's a really cool bait that really is a hybrid between a frog and a popper. And it was developed by the Berkley Japanese team. So I guess you could say it's JDM market, but it's something that is just a little bit different for a couple of reasons. And it comes with a Fusion 19 5/0 EWG hook to rig it. So it doesn't have your standard hollow belly frog. You know, it's kind of got it's a weird material. It's kind of foamy, kind of plasticky feeling, but it's a very high float material. And what it does is you've got a good popper build on it. So you have a really good walking motion, a really good spitting motion. And then you've got the tails on it that you would have kind of on a normal frog or a hollow belly frog. And the fact that you'd use this big 5/0 EWG hook to rig it allows you to fish this really anywhere you would fish a hollow belly frog, but you have the popper body style. So it's kind of a good hybrid cross. A couple of things I want to point out with it is it's got this material that's a high float. So it does float really well. It walks really well, but it's got an internal rattle chamber. Hopefully you can see that. So you've got rattles built into it. It's also got holes pre-mounted so you can rig it. So it comes with a 5/0 EWG hook, and you can see there's a little hole right in the mouth of it. All I'm gonna do is take it and go into that hole, and it comes out an opening underneath it. Hopefully you can see that. And then at that point, you just Texas rig it like you normally would. And there's slots on the back where the hook needs to come out. And you're just gonna go through it like you normally would any other Texas rig. So that's going to allow you then to fish this. Let me get that through. So that sits in the slot just like that. So it's gonna be very weedless and it walks really well. It's just a really good different style of bait. When I first got it, I was a little concerned that the hookups may not be all that great, but because there's so much room in the bottom of it, that whole hook just slides right up the belly and pops out really well. And you're not going to have that many issues at all with it. At least I haven't at this point, but it seems to generate a lot of strikes. The other thing that I want to point out on it that I really like are the tail material. The tail material's like a round rubber versus your normal skirt material. So it really spreads out well. It's a little bit bulkier. a little bit more resistant, so it just flares in the water. But it's a totally different bait. I'll take you down to the water and kind of show you the motion of it so that you can see it. And I really think you need to check them out, but let's go down to the water. You can see all the bubbles that are left. I mean, it's just one of those baits that creates really good bubble trails. If you want it to walk a little better, you can trim the skirts down a little, but you can see how good the skirt separates, better than any other frog I know of. Those tails just separate really good, flare out. It's a really seductive looking topwater bait, and I've had a lot of good success with this, starting with last summer. It casts well, creates a good pop sound, very much like a popper, more so than other frogs. And it's very weedless with that one EWG hook in there. So guys, give it a try. It's a frog that the fish haven't seen before, new to the market at the end of last year. Like I said, it's a good cross between a frog and a popper. Something different. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned, another video coming out tomorrow.